Hello everybody, my name is Kara. How y'all doing today? Hope y'all doing fantastic. I know the intro may not sound as energetic as it has been, but nothing's wrong with me. We're just going through some changes. As you may notice already, I have no tickets. Now, my save hasn't been corrupted, but as a tester, I've gained save slots, which allow me to go on different saves and do different adventures, and well, start out my new video series called Road from Zero to Hero. Now let's just go ahead and jump right into it. As customary, this would be your guideline to how Hero's Quest works, how the progression goes, and everything you would need to know. Now you get the same information, like you have 20 energy. After you start a battle, 1 energy is deducted, and if you lose another. You lose 2. If it reaches 0, your game's over. Now you gain experience points and gold. Experience will give you 5 points that can be used to improve your stats. Gold can be used to buy new equipment. The only way you can carry over the only thing that you'll carry over on every new start is equipment. So you gotta remember to, you gotta remember to spend all of your gold, try to get all of your equipment, and then start the game over. Start over from where it originally has begun. Now, as customary, you're level 1, you really don't have a whole lot of good equipment. So the first thing you would want to do is just fight your local level 1B. Easy peasy. You just fight your local level 1. And maybe you want to invest a little bit into attack. Then you want to go down to level 2. See how good you can handle that. If you can handle it real well, maybe you'll push some into HP and attack. Maybe you want to go for a bit of both. And then maybe you want to try your luck with level 3. You do pretty well. You push more into defense. Or not defense, HP. Then you want to jump up real high. You want to go up to level 6. You want to see how well you fare against level 6. Now you may think you might do real bad, but in honesty, you might do very well, like I did there. Now maybe you want to put half of your points in agility, you want to put the rest in attack, you want to go to level 8. You want to see how well you do against level 8. And, to my surprise, I do pretty well. I do pretty well against level 8. Now we're just going to do a little bit of this, we're going to go to level 9, we're going to see how we fare against it. And this is basically the whole premise of the game. The whole premise is to work your way up. You work your way up the mobs. You see what you can handle. You see what you can't handle. You learn through trial and error. And it goes from there. That's all this game really is trial and error. That's all a roguelite has ever been. You fight, you find errors in your pathing, you try to correct those errors through multiple runs, and multiple runs of getting either duplicate equipment or better equipment. And you repeat. You repeat the whole process. Like nothing ever happened. Except, wait a minute. You have your equipment that you had from your last run. You can get through many of these areas a lot quicker than you could before. And that's really good. Now, as you see, I'm quietly contemplating in my head, like, where can I go? What mobs can I hit at this time? Like, where do my boundaries lie? And as you see, I'm kind of contemplating, like, do I want to hit this level 22? Or do I want to go a little higher? Do I want to aim a bit lower? And after I get my stats, you want to think to yourself, where do you want to put all your stats? Do you want to put them all in attack? Do you want to put them all in HP, defense, agility? Do you want to put them all into luck and start farming? No, you don't want to do that yet. You don't want to do that this early. No, not this early. You don't want to do that. The main premise of your beginnings is to work your stats up so that you can survive. You work your stats so you can survive. Alright, I have enough to where I can get the tier 2 weapon, or tier 2 helmet. But I want to see if I can get enough for the tier 3, if not a little higher. Alright, cool. That's good. That's good. Alright, cool. Let's go ahead and invest into some defense. Let's go find some higher level mobs. Let's go fight this level 31. See how we fare. And apparently we've fared pretty well. We fared well against it. That's not bad. Let's go against this 38. See how we do against it. Now, while we may have speed, our enemy has attack over us. So, there we go. There's our first loss as an Elven Rogue. We can't beat a level 38 yet. Let's try to beat something a little lower, and let's try to gain some defense. Let's gain some attack. Let's gain some other stats that would help us to better beat this level 38. Like, let's invest into some defense. Let's find something a little lower. Let's fight the 37. See where we go from there. Now we should be able to beat this 38. Now maybe we want to go a little ballsy. Maybe we want to go for the 42. And we see how we do against it. Now you see, with some of these mobs, I'm getting pretty lucky because I'm getting crits. I'm getting crits off of some of these mobs. And that's a good thing, because the Elven Rogue gives you 3% extra crit as a starting line. And that will be pretty good for the beginnings of your adventure, right? That'll be very good for your beginnings. Now, let's go ahead and see where we can go from there. Where can we go? Let's fight the 52. See how we do against level 52. And I can already tell you that we're going to lose. Because we lack good equipment. But we do have the funds available to go ahead and buy equipment. We can do that now. Let's go ahead and buy a longsword. Maybe we want to go ahead and get the archer's helm for a little extra boost to our luck stat. And now we're going to go ahead and start a new game. Now we should be able to get through some of these mobs a little faster than we were to before. Let's go ahead and jump to 4 and see how we do from there. We got through it a lot faster than we did before. Now let's jump to 7 to do the same test. As I said, a lot faster than before. Let's go ahead and go up to these other mobs, these level 13s. Yeah, that's a good starting line. There we go. Now 13's cutting it a bit close, so we invest a little bit into HP. And now we're doing just fine. Yep, we're gonna go ahead and fight this 14. And now we're not doing so bad. We're not doing so bad. Now we're going to go ahead and go back to the Queen Bee area. We're going to fight some of these lower mobs, like the level 17 perhaps. We're doing alright. We're doing good. Now we're going to jump way up and we're going to see if we can beat this level 34. Very close, but we did it. That's very good. Now we're just going to shoot all of that into defense so that we can get a bigger shield. And now we're able to beat level 30s pretty easily. Now, some of you may be thinking, like, I'm allocating these stats however I please. Well, what's the point of it? Well, the point of allocating your stats is so you can beat these mobs easier and faster than you were able to before. Whether it be increasing your HP so you have more staying power against these higher level mobs like these. Like, let's try ourselves against a 52. Had I not invested in HP, I would have died in a few seconds. Now we can steel ourselves against this 59. Where he may have more power over me, I have a little bit more speed, and I have, you guessed it, more HP. So I'm able to stand my ground, so to speak. But I also have a better weapon than I did with just doing it barehanded. Now we're just going to sit here, we're going to fight these level 50 to 60s for a little bit. We're going to fight them for a little while. We're going to fight them for a while so that we will be able to get all of our Tier 3 or maybe Tier 4. We can get Tier 4 equipment perhaps. I will have to see how much the Tier 4 equipment costs. Oh, 4.6. Yeah, we can get that. We can get 4.6 pretty easily. Maybe not if we didn't buy a helmet. Even if it's a Tier 1 helmet, it helps out. Every little bit helps. Let's go ahead and keep investing into agility so that we can attack a little faster. Then they can hit us. We could probably push ourselves to 2 attack speed. Or even higher. You never know. But really, in this area, you're not really going to get a whole lot of attack speed. Especially if you're not wearing a ring. Like right now, we could buy the tier 4 ring and be good. But let's say you, and go ahead and buy the cleanser. Now the cleanser is the 4th weapon. It's just the 4th weapon, that's all that is. And then we can buy the Karapaka, which is the tier 2 helmet, the 2nd helmet available. And now, oh, well, I was going to try myself against the boss, but I guess not. I guess not. I wanted to go a little ballsy, but, I mean, there we go. And now we see them just breezing through, like, some of these mobs. We're breezing through them. We're gonna keep on going. We're gonna keep on breezing through the mobs. We're gonna keep pushing ourselves higher in level. We're gonna go straight to the 32. Having said that, we'll go straight to this 44 as well. We're gonna really push our limits. Now, this playstyle that I play is a little aggressive, and it may catch people off guard. You may want to back off of this playstyle if it isn't for you. But I love this playstyle because it lets me get greedy, it lets me get aggressive, and sometimes it pays off. Sometimes it pays off so much that I'm able to amass better weapons than people that play cautiously. But that also applies for the reverse. If I play too aggressively, I may not be able to get as good of a weapon as, say, the next person who plays cautiously. And they allocate their stats just right. They go through a little trial and error. And after some time, they're able to beat the boss faster than I would if I didn't allocate my stats right. I played too aggressively and ultimately failed. Maybe we can try this boss out in a little bit. Maybe in a little bit. Yeah, maybe push ourselves to 1.2k defense. Alright, these level 50 bees are still breaking my shield. So let's invest a little in attack. Let's see if they get through it now. Okay, level 50 is not getting through my shield. That's good. That's good. I'm probably going a little above the minimum requirement that it'll take for me to beat Queen Bee. But you always want to be safe than sorry. Like, sure, I can play aggressive, but I also like to play cautiously. It just depends on the moment. I also realize that I haven't really invested in agility. I've not invested in agility that much. Now we're gonna fight a couple more of these level 50 mobs, and we're going to try Queen Bee. We're going to try to beat her. It may work, it may not. And just as a little reminder, I have not bought any armor, any cloaks, or any rings. This is just with the cleanser, which is your 4th weapon, and the Karapaka, which is your 2nd helmet. Okay, alright, not bad, not bad. Now, a few things of note. Unlike what the tutorial says when you first start your game, every time you beat a boss... Now, this is true when it says every time you beat a mob, you lose 1 energy, but every time you lose an extra energy. So you lose 2 energy when you lose against a mob, right? In lieu of beating a boss, you gain 3 energy. But you take into account that you use up 1 energy when you beat the boss. So you gain 2. So in that sense, you gain 3 energy from a boss. You use up 1 to beat the boss. So you gain 2 instead. And also, this is just a nice little threshold that I use. You could go a little lower on HP. And you could go a little lower on attack, but this is... these are my preferred stats for beating Queen Bee, which would be your first boss of the game. And as shown, you can do this easily with the Elven Rogue. Now let's go ahead and invest into some attack. And let's go farther down to the second boss area. Now, right away, you're going to see some huge changes. You're going to see changes in your levels. You're going to see changes in the levels of the mobs. You're seeing mobs that are level 50, level 60. You see one that's 69. Nice. Now, maybe with how I have my stats allocated, I could also beat Red Avian just as easily. Oh, what do you know? I got a leather helmet. That should be an upgrade. Yes, that's an upgrade to my current helmet. So, take note. Your 4th weapon, I have my 3rd helmet, and I'm fixing to fight Red Avian with these stats. Hope you have those implanted. Let's see how we do. Okay, alright, cool. Very nice, very nice. Now, as said, these are the stats that I use to beat Red Avian. Granted, I have no chestplate, no cloak, and no ring to help me. Just a weapon and a helmet. The helmet doesn't do much. It's just the weapon doing the talking. Now, like on Queen Bee, you could probably go a little lower on HP. You could probably go a little lower on attack. But these are safe stats that I would use in beating this mob, or this boss. Now, some people may want to stay here and farm the level 60s, level 70 mobs, stuff like that. Let's go ahead and go forward. Let's go up. Up from our starting area and into this area, the dreaded Forest Golem. This is your third boss that you're supposed to beat. Not the first, not the second, not by a long shot, the third. Those first two bosses that I just fought and won against are the bosses you're supposed to fight. Alright, let's try ourselves against this 82. Okay, that looks promising, right? That looks promising. Now, let's try ourselves against a 97. Again, that looks promising. Now you may think, oh, well, that looked so promising, you may want to go ahead and fight the Forest Golem now, right? Well, let's try it. You may think it's easy to beat the Forest Golem after you easily beat a 97, a near level 100 mob, but as you saw, I got to halfway. Now, with this gold, we can go ahead and buy better equipment. We could buy a better weapon. Sure. We could also buy a cloak so we have more HP to handle this boss. The same would apply for armor. We could do that too. Let's go ahead and buy the silver torso and go ahead and buy the wind cape. And whilst we have the gold, let's go ahead and buy the lost ring. And now we gain 4 tickets. Now, we can probably go ahead and jump all the way over here and fight perhaps a level 20. Okay, maybe that was a lie. Maybe one could jump so far as to fight a level 40. Maybe one could steel itself against a level 50. Maybe one can steel itself against Queen Bee. Okay, not bad. Now, as I said earlier, you probably would want to go a little lower in HP than what I did, but I also had... Let's see, what tier equipment is this? Tier 3? Tier 4? Okay, 4th equipment. This is the 4th equipment. The armor should also be number 4, yes. And the ring, I think, is number 3. So every piece of my equipment is 4th equipment, except for the helmet and ring. They're all the 3rd equipment. Yeah, we can go ahead and try ourselves against a level... Yeah, like a level 67, 69, something like that. And then you say, oh, you're doing really well here, let's try ourselves against the boss. As you would figure, you do really well. You do really well against the boss. And now we go all the way back up to our 3rd boss. But first we fight a few enemies around the block. We fight a few enemies just to get a feel for what we need. Like, what do we need here? Do we need a little extra attack? Do we need a little extra agility? Like, what's our game plan? Now, truth be told, I probably had the stats required already to beat him. So let's try it. While I may have speed, he does have power, but I still beat him. Now let's go ahead and invest into defense. Let's go ahead and go to a new environment. The cave system. Our first cave map. Now you see that a lot of the enemies here are a lot higher level than you would think. Like, you have mobs that are level 177. And as you see, they're kind of kicking my tail. They're kind of kicking my tail. They have like three times as much HP as I do right now. Yeah, these enemies can kick your tail if you're not very careful about which one you fight. Gosh, I wanted to see if there was a bug where I could just skip Void Queen. I wanted to see if he patched it. I wanted to see if there was just a blank space where I could just, whoop, skip her. Nope, there's not. Okay, alright, interesting. Okay, cool. Now, as you see there, this may be a point where you want to invest in agility. You might want to attack a little faster than normal. But even if you have agility, there are some mobs that will still have power over you. They might attack faster than you do. And what do you do in that instance? Well, you just simply will die. And get better equipment. See, like here. I nearly died. But one false move and I could have died. I could have died fatally. Again, one false move. Like, if I didn't crit when I did, I probably would have died. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the end of our first Road from Zero to Hero video. I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope you have those stats memorized for what you need to beat your bosses. Now, just as a little brief reminder, when I went to beat Queen Bee, I only had a helmet and a weapon equipped. I only had, what was it, the cleanser? I had the cleanser, and I had, when I beat her the first time, I had this helmet, the Karapaka. When I beat Red Avian, I had the cleanser and a leather helm. You notice no cloak, no torso, no ring. Didn't need it, because I basically handled it all with this weapon. When I went to go fight Forest Golem, I had all of this. The helmet, the weapon, the torso, the cloak, and the ring. I had it all. And I also allocated my stats to a point where I felt comfortable beating him. Now, this probably would have been a smart idea to screenshot my stats and post them on the Discord server so that I could help out more newer players like you, and they'll have the stats memorized for beating these bosses as well with the Elven Rogue. But sadly, I didn't do that. I'll just have to look through the video and see where those stats are and just type them out. Which wouldn't be a bad idea. I could do that anyways, and people would be more apt to read it and figure out, hey, I can beat this boss with this hero like Kara mentioned. I just have to have this weapon, this helmet, and I just have to play in this particular style. Or you can play in any other style, as long as you get what you want, as long as you obtain what you want. You want victory, so how do you obtain it? You allocate your stats just right. You find where your boundaries lie by trial and error. You succeed where you think you would fail. And you repeat. You repeat this method through every other boss, every other mob, every other threshold that you have to overcome. Or rather, every other obstacle that you have to overcome. Let's also take for account that we don't have a relic equipped. We don't have a relic. We've not bought any relics. And trust me, ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of relics. I don't know why I moved that. Yeah, there's a lot of relics. But yeah, as I said, this is going to be the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. I would really appreciate it if you click the like button, drop a comment down below on other things that I could do to better enhance the guiding experience, per se. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. And most importantly, join the Discord server. It's a wonderful server filled with wonderful people, a wonderful community, and wonderful tips to help you further throughout your adventure. Whether you're in early game, middle game, late game, or end game. We help all users, we help all players throughout all branches of the game. Now, without further ado, I will see you all in the next video.